Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss the meaning of capital structure, and further we are also going to discuss the various theories pertaining to it. Now let us first understand the basic meaning of capital. See, we all know that an organization requires finance from time to time. It can be used to either do an investment or to pay certain expenses or loans also. So capital is basically a combination of all long-term sources of finance. Okay, so the point to remember over here is that it includes only the long-term sources of finance and not the short term. It includes equity share capital, preference share capital, reserves and surpluses, capital, loan, debentures, and also all other long term sources of finance. A company has to decide the proportion in which it should have all of these. Based on their proportion, weighted average cost of capital and value of the firm are affected. See, it is very important that whatever the sources of finance are, they are in right proportion. They are in a proper ratio so that our value of the firm increases and our weighted average cost of capital is low. So, what is WACC? It is basically the combination of all the costs that we have to incur for obtaining these sources of finance. So it is the collective cost of all of these, and it is our priority that we have to keep this cost as low as possible, because if it is low, then the value of the firm will eventually be high. Now let us discuss the meaning of financial leverage. See, it is the extent to which a business employs borrowed money or debts. Okay, so only the borrowed money is basically being related to financial leverage. And in financial management, we all know that it is a very important decision in business. In capital structure of a company, there are mainly two types of capital, namely debt capital and equity capital. Okay, and financial leverage or capital structure deals with a very important question, which is what should be the ratio of debt and equity. See, this is all the financial management is, or capital structure is basically revolving around. Okay, what should be the ideal ratio of debt and equity? Because if these ratios are in a proper order, okay, then our capital structure and our organization is basically in a better position. Okay, now let us discuss the various theories of capital structure. The first one is net income approach. This was basically suggested by Durand, and he was in the favor of financial leverage decision, that is, there should be more debt than equity in the capital structure of a firm. So if the ratio of the debt increases, the weighted average cost of the firm decreases and thereby value of the firm increases. So he basically believed that we should increase the amount of debt in the firm because the rate of debt, okay, is less, and due to this what will happen, our weighted average cost of capital will eventually come down and thereby our value of the firm will increase. Now, what are the assumptions of this approach? The first is the increase in debt will not affect the confidence level of the investors. Investors are not affected by whatever the debt ratio is in the capital structure. There are two sources of finance, namely debt and equity. So in net income approach, there are only two sources of finance, that is debt. Okay, that is basically the loans that we borrow, okay, long-term loans and also the debentures and all, and equity, only equity share capital, not preferential capital. And all the companies have uniform dividend payout ratio, that is 1. Okay, dividend is paid in the ratio of 1, and there is no cost, flotation cost, transaction cost, or also there is no corporate dividend tax, and all sources of finance are for infinity. Okay, now we can see in this diagram that on the x-axis there is debt and on the y-axis there is cost. We can see that KD denotes cost of debt and KE and KO denote cost of equity and overall cost of capital, or we can say weighted average cost of capital. So we can see that when we are increasing the debt in our capital structure, then eventually our weighted average cost of capital is going down, okay, which is denoted by the KO curve. Okay, now let us discuss the net operating income approach. So this approach was also given by Durand, and it is the exact opposite of net income approach. Okay, this approach says that the weighted average cost of capital remains same or constant even when the debt in the capital structure increases. So this approach is saying that even if you are increasing the debt in the capital structure, your value of the firm and weighted average cost of the firm, cost of capital, is remaining the constant. It is not changing. So what is the reason behind this? See, it is so because the benefit that the firm is deriving by infusion of debt, okay, that is less rate of interest it has to pay, it is basically negated by simultaneous increase in the required rate of return by the shareholders. Now shareholders are wanting more required rate of return because it is believed that when you infuse debt in your capital structure, then the bankruptcy chances, okay, increase. So obviously the shareholders who have put in their hard earned money, they will be wanting more rate of return, right? So this is the reason that he said this. Now assumptions of NOI approach. The overall capitalization rate remains constant irrespective of the degree of the leverage. Okay, that is your whatever the debt is in your capital structure, your WACC and your value of the firm will remain same. Value of equity is the difference between total firm value less value of debt. Yes, when we have to calculate the value of equity share capital, then we have to subtract total firm's value by value of debt, and WACC remains constant, and with the increase in debt the cost of equity also increases. Very right. Now when we see the diagram of NOI approach, we can see that on the x-axis there is degree of leverage, that is degree of debt, and on the y-axis there is cost of capital. So KD denotes or cost of debt, okay, and weighted average cost is denoted by WACC, and KE is cost of equity. So when we are increasing the debt in our capital structure, and we can see that the cost of equity is also increasing, but the weighted average cost of capital remains same, right? Because it is negated by the increasing cost of equity when we are infusing leverage or debt in our capital structure. Now let us discuss the other approach, which is Modigliani and Miller approach. See, this theory is based on two propositions. First proposition says that the capital structure is irrelevant to the value of the firm. Okay, it will not be affected no matter how much debt you increase, it will not be affected. The value of two identical firms will remain same and won't be affected by the choice of finance adopted by them. The value of the firm is dependent on the expected future earnings provided there are no taxes. So it believed that the value of the firm is affected not by the capital structure but by the expected future earnings that the company expects, okay, provided there are no taxes. And the second proposition says that the financial leverage boosts the value of firm and reduces WACC provided there are taxes. Okay, now let us discuss the assumptions of Modigliani and Miller approach. So the first assumption is there are no taxes. Second one, transaction cost for buying and selling securities as well as the bankruptcy cost is nil. And there is a symmetry of information also. Okay, that is, everyone has the access to information alike. The cost of borrowings is same for investors and companies. And also there are no flotation costs and there are no corporate taxes also. Right. So now let us practice some important questions. Net operating income approach was given by A. David Ricardo, B. Durand, C. Modigliani and Miller, D. Alfred Marshall. See, we just discussed that NOI approach was given by Durand only. So the first net income approach and net operating income approach both are given by Durand. That is option B. NOI income approach believes there is no effect of financial leverage on the value of the firm because cost of debt reduce, required rate of return of shareholders increases, tax paid come into the picture, none of the above. See, we discussed that the required rate of return of shareholder increases. Okay, when because NOI income believes that there is no effect of financial leverage on the value of the firm. Okay, and the reason being this. So the correct answer for this would be required rate of return of shareholder increases. That is option B. So this was all for today. Thank you so much for your time.